Hello and welcome to another edition of Sit Down with the Director. I'm Robin Phillips and I'm here today again with Director of Schools Bobby Cox to discuss what's happening in Warren County Schools. Mr. Cox, how are you?
I'm doing well,
Wonderful. We have lots of things going on in Warren County Schools as usual, and I know everyone's excited to hear what's going on with our building projects.
Okay.
Could you share some information about each of our projects?
Yes, the building projects are going well, moving right along, even though we've had a lot of rain here recently, and it has put some behind schedule, but not a whole lot. The blocks have been laid at Bobby Ray on the outside of the building for the vestibule and the bathroom area that they're building, so the roof has been put on that. So they're not totally in the dry yet, but they're close. The inside of Bobby Ray, the ceiling has been painted, the rafters have been painted, so that inside work is complete over there. So they'll be working on the outside right now, making sure they're doing everything they can to get it in the dry before winter, and then they'll be doing work on and off during the winter at Bobby Ray. The high school is coming along good. They've got the floor for the multi-sport facility complete, and the building is getting ready to start coming up out of the ground. So it's a prefab building, so it should be coming up pretty quick now. The weight room area, the blocks have been laid. They're ready to lay the brick on that and the roofs on that as well. So almost totally in the dry there.
Is that expected? When is the expected finish date on the high school?
The high school should be through probably around February.
Okay.
Of course, Bobby Ray and Irving College is going to be a longer process, probably a 2-year process to get everything complete. So hopefully by next summer, Bobby Ray will be finished. High school will be finished, and then we'll just like Irving College. Irving College is moving along well. A lot more work up there. Blocks are being laid. The slabs have been poured for the floor there. So everything's moving along at a pretty good rate now. All the grade work's been done, and the drainage work's been done, and they're starting on the septic system as well. So moving right along, but they are a little bit behind schedule because of the weather.
Okay, great. And I know everyone will be interested to know maybe more about the parking situation at the high school come, I guess, basketball season. It's the first time we really have events at the high school.
Right.
So could you tell us about how this will affect, the building project will affect parking for those events?
Yeah, the staging area is in 2 of the parking lot areas at the high school. So hopefully as the major part of the building comes up, then they'll be able to release some more of those parking spaces there. Of course, the front part of the parking lot's free. You know, probably have to be put more parking out there than in the back part where the construction's going on. So hopefully everything will work well. We've still got handicap spaces for those that need it and access close to the building. But hopefully parking will be okay, but we should be able to open some more parking up in the next couple of months.
Okay, very good. Well, before we get to basketball, I guess we still have a few football games left this year, and I know tomorrow night is our second home game, and then the week after that is homecoming.
Right.
So, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about what activities we have and what's going on for homecoming?
Sure. Our game would be this Friday night. Would be the second against Oakland. Be our second home game, so we hope everybody will come out and support our football team there. It's been a long road trip, and we knew this year going into the Super 32 that we were going to face a lot of stiff competition. So proud of our kids and proud of our coaches for the way that they've performed so far. Hadn't won any games yet, but we've been competitive, and we're building a program, so it's going to take a while, and our kids are going to have to get used to our coaching staff. And we had a new coach last year, left right after the football season, so Coach Moore's here this year. So it's not going to be an overnight fix. It's going to be a long process, and proud of our kids for sticking in there and doing what they're doing and performing the way they perform. Homecoming is on the 9th. Homecoming parade will be in the afternoon. We've had that at night before, but this year it'll be in the afternoon, so school will be released around noon. We've got the route approved through downtown. There'll be a pep rally, I think, at Farmers Market after the parade, so about 1 o'clock after the parade's over with, and then hopefully we play Sequatchie County, so hopefully we'll get a win that night. And I think Sequatchie County is pretty pretty good team, so we'll have to do our best to win that game. But all the homecoming festivities and things will happen during that week of the 9th. So, and then that gets us into fall break. So we'll got a couple more weeks before that. So.
Okay. Well, just one clarification on the schools out at 12 o'clock. That's only for the high school.
That's only for the high school.
So if you have students in other schools, they would be expected to stay at school that day unless, you know, they're checked out for whatever reason they're supposed to be checked out.
Right. You know, parents a lot of times go and get their students out to go watch the parade. It's unexcused. It's not a school-sponsored day, so you know, parents will have to make that choice. But we encourage all our businesses and folks to come out and support the football team and our school, as they always do.
Okay, very good. And speaking of fall break, that is another announcement I guess we need to make sure everyone does know that we have fall break starting on the 12th and ending on the 16th for everyone. And then students will get an extra day off on the 19th whilst teachers and staff have Professional Development Day, right?
Right, correct.
Okay,
so that'll be, you know, that following week after homecoming, and, you know, students will come back on the 20th. That time, teachers come back on the 19th. Okay,
and that probably does bring us to another short subject. I don't know that we need to discuss it a lot, but we are making these announcements here today because right now we're not using our auto call system there's a potential law that affects that and non-emergency use of that. So would you like to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, with the new federal regulation about telemarketers and the calls there, we use our calling system to notify parents of events that are happening at school that are non-emergency events a lot of times. And it works out really good because we can get the message out and schools can maintain that, manage that on their end. But with the new regulations, we're having to send some forms home to verify that parents actually want to be called using that calling system and that we're not infringing on their rights, I guess you'd say, to not get a call. So most of those phone numbers are built from our registration forms, but you know, we just want to verify, make sure we're in compliance with that. So if parents would just sign off and you know, giving us the opportunity to put that in our system, then we'll get the calling system back up and running. But if there is an emergency, like a weather emergency or school's out or some emergency at school, then we can use the calling system to notify parents in that instance. But hopefully we can get everything worked out where we can use it as we have been in the past.
Okay, and again, for parents at home or others, the law is actually more of a commercial law, and we usually have a non-commercial use, but just to be on the safe side, we're trying to make sure that people are aware that they will get these calls and give permission. But the law really relates only to cell phones, but we're going to go ahead and try to redraft our whole system to take care of that. So we do, my understanding is that these letters are going home to students now, so parents and others should be watching for those letters and try to get those back as soon as possible so that we can go ahead and get that system started again to the extent people want it.
Yeah, right. The quicker we get those back, the quicker we can start making those changes. It's going to take a while when you've got 6,500 students and all the phone numbers that we have in there to get the right phone numbers in the right place. So, and
to block any phone numbers that wish to be blocked.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Wonderful. That's going to be a big job, but we'll get that done as soon as possible. I know. One other thing that's going on that we've waited a long time for is to get our Chromebooks out to students, and I know that's been something you've been working on for a year or more. So my understanding is those Chromebooks are going home now. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Our Chromebook project, we've been working on that for a couple of years actually, and now it's really coming to a reality. We set aside about $200,000 in our budget to buy all of our 8th grade students a Chromebook, which is much like a laptop. It's really just a conduit for getting to the internet and saving things in cloud storage on Google Drive, because we use Google Education. and that's a free service from Google, so we use that for our email and our storage and things of that type. So we wanted to try to start moving more one-to-one, more electronic, start taking advantage of electronic materials, electronic textbooks and things for instruction, not just testing on the testing end of it. So we have, I think, 535 8th graders, and each one will be issued a Chromebook this year, as well as their 8th grade teachers and their 9th grade teachers for next year, so they can learn how to use the apps and the things with that. So those are starting to go out. We've had, I think, Irving College, Morrison, East Side, maybe Dibble. The middle school will have theirs after fall break. So those should all be out after fall break, and it will come with a case that's a durable case, so in case it's dropped or something that won't damage it. But it's also got a program on it called Go Guardian that we've had to put on every machine, so that's taken a little bit of time, so that we'll actually get a report back if our machine is being used to go to websites and things of that type that they shouldn't be going to, or that are blocked, and that we can also track where the device is at. So so I hope it'll be a good thing. If it's lost or
stolen, we would be able to recover it that way.
Right, know where it's at, shut it down, make it inoperable. So.
Okay, and again, I think my understanding is that those students will, once they're issued the Chromebook, it will be taken up during breaks and holidays and over the summer, but they will be reissued that same Chromebook next year, and they will keep it until they graduate.
Right, they'll follow, you know, we've looked at kind of two schools of thought on that, is do we pass the ones on to the next school or let them take them with them? What we think we've decided is to leave the Chromebook at the school, and then we'll purchase for that 8th grade class as they move to 9th grade. Then they'll get another Chromebook in 9th grade that'll stay with the 9th grade, and so forth in 10th, 11th, 12th. And then that way they're at the school, and we don't have to move them back and forth. Because you really can't save anything on the hard drive of the Chromebook. It's just really kind of just like a conduit, like running a wire through a piece of pipe. You know, it's just a conduit to be able to hit the internet, save things on the internet, and really not anything saved on the device itself.
Right, and so when you're talking about saving things, you're talking about maybe papers, worksheets, Excel,
presentations,
things like that that students would be able to use to help them transition into either workforce or college, because that's what they'll be expected to do, and that's the way they're expected to present in those other areas.
Right, and they'll actually, since it's all cloud-based and internet-based, then they'll be able to save all of their documents in our Drive system or their Google Drive, and they can access it from any other computer. If they just log into their Google account, then they can have access to it at home on another device or on their phone or wherever they can gain access to it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I think that's quite a few things we've discussed, and probably our time is about up. So I do want to thank you again for sharing all this information. I know everyone's happy to hear what's going on in Warren County Schools, and one reminder to remember about the upcoming football events, as well as fall break and the PD day for teachers. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.